What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the Collective Clips where you already know we get it in. But before we get it in, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all things so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content I'm kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel and it's all because of you. And for that, I can say I'm very humbled. I appreciate it. So something came up on my feed yesterday, man. And, I haven't seen treachery like this in a long time. It's been a long time since I've been in prison. And to kind of reflect back and think of some of the things I've seen, man, I don't wish that upon no one. I don't wish the time nor the visuals, right? Because sometimes you are involved in things or you see things. And I think being involved like in a prison stabbing, a pegada, a removal, it's probably a lot more less crazy than actually watching it from a distance and seeing it happen. When you're involved in it and you do it, your mind is clouded. It's like you're in a haze. You're in slow motion. It's just happening. Most people are doing prison stabbings and things. You're not thinking. Your adrenaline's pumping. You're just going, man. You're going to go. You've been given a directive or you're doing it for a disrespectful reason or whatever the case may be. And you just go into action. You think about it. You pace in your cell and think about it the day before. What's going to happen? How's it going to go down? And no matter how you picture it or no matter what different ways you think of devising this plan and doing it, it never works out according to plan. It's always something different. Anything can happen. The adversary or the victim in this case could have a piece. He could drop a piece. He can take your piece. So you got to be on point. A prison stabbing, not everyone's capable or able to do that. It takes a lot of aggression, a lot of I don't give a fuck attitude. There's a lot that goes into it. These things are methodically planned and they happen. So I kind of wanted to react to a video that was posted yesterday or was posted a couple of days ago. And it just came across my feed. Now I know other content creators have spoken on this situation, but I kind of wanted to give my input on it, my perspective on what I see going down. So I'm going to get into this reaction. We're going to react together. I'm going to show you guys kind of what I think was going down in this situation. This was a killing that happened in New Folsom prison. And New Folsom is a dangerous place. Now, I've never been there. I've had family that have been there, homeboys that have been there. And when it cracks, it cracks. When it goes down, it goes down. Nowadays, the treachery that happens behind the walls. I mean, there's always been prison stabbings. There's always been killings. I think the killings were probably more prominent in the 70s. That was the killing era. That was the era when everyone was just going at it. Certain gangs and groups and organizations were being established, or if not already established, putting down for their dominance on the yard, planting their flags everywhere they went. So there was a lot of guerra, a lot of war between like North and South and blacks and whites and blacks and South and blacks and North, and everybody was just getting it. But in this particular video, I'm going to show you, these were 3 individuals who were in an administrative segregation building. And, it tripped me out seeing this video because it seems like they have these desks or these tables. And what they do is they shackle you and they bring you out for whatever reason. And that's pretty much your dayroom time. I don't know why these guys were out there in the dayroom together. I guess they were all from a particular group. I'm not going to say what group they were from. I'll let you kind of figure that out yourselves and do your fact checking and do your homework. But they were from one set group. And for some reason or another, one of these guys was in bad standings. One of these guys found himself in a situation where, he had messed up. And if it became a situation where guys stab him while he's shackled up and chained up, that means he really fucked up. He really had messed up. They really wanted to get him for whatever reason. But, that's just the way it goes down. So I'm going to kind of react with you guys to this and just trip out. Like I said, man, it's unfortunate. There's things called cuff keys in prison. And a lot of guys, if you're educated, when you get into the shoe or to the hole, you get educated by your people in how to make weaponry, how to make fishing line. For people that just come off the streets and don't really know that, you should already be laced up from your reception or county jail, especially if you're a gang member, a prison gang member, or you're part of, that group, depending upon who you're from or where you're from, you're going to be educated in, the art of war, certain things that you need to utilize and understand to secure yourself, to properly secure yourself. Yes, you will be hooping weapons like Wes Watson, depending upon if you're on a 4 or 3 yard. Will it be mandated? Well, that depends upon your group. But a lot of these guys, the first thing you want to do when you get to a yard is get a weapon, fashion up a weapon. And you can't make a weapon if you don't know how to make a weapon. So you're educated on how to make weapons, and there's a lot of seasoned convicts that know how to, make proper weaponry. So that way you secure yourself. So that way when you go to the yard, you have something on you. Because best believe if you don't got it, if you're with it and not without it, or without it, it could get dangerous. So in this situation, these two individuals, the other third guy, I guess, was in bad standings, or they were going to make an example out of him, and they were going to go for the kill shot. Because when they were warned by officers to stop, they decided that they weren't going to stop. They were going to keep going. And I mean, if you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound, right? If you're going, you might as well go all the way. You're seen on camera, and most things in prison are filmed. There are blind spots. But some of these times, people don't care. When they're willing to go all out, to crash out over what they believe in, it becomes a situation where who gives a fuck? Who cares who's watching? Now, you got to understand, in every situation, in every prison stabbing, if you're going for the kill shot, and most people are, they're not just going to whack someone. I hear a lot of people getting sliced and about people doing, and I've seen it and I've participated in it. And, there's different reasons for everything. If it's just a check-in and you just want to cut them up a little bit, it is what it is. But usually if you pull out weapons, you're going to use them. And you're going to try to go for the kill shot. That's just what it is, man. It's unfortunate, but that's the life behind the walls. It's a whole different world from the streets. And you got to understand, when you're talking that rah-rah shit out here on the streets, it's much different there. There is no rah-rah. There is no talking shit. It's all about action, putting a plan into action and executing it to the fullest. So in this situation, these two gentlemen, it looks like from what I'm seeing, they utilized cuff keys. But we're going to get straight into it, man. I'm going to show you guys exactly what happened. Let me move over to the side so I can show you right here what it's looking like. So as you see right here, these guys are in the day room, right? And they're all placed in the day room. And from this video, it's not a very good, it's kind of a grainy image. But you can see two of these guys kind of looking around. And it looks like one of them has already used a cuff key or whatever he used to uncuff himself. Now, his camarada, his homeboy, probably his cellie, because they devised this plan, is utilizing the cuff key. Okay. And as you see, the other guy, the third guy, he doesn't really know what's going on. He's kind of just probably like, again, like I said in my last video, everybody knows what's going to happen except the person that's going to happen to. He might know that he has some smut on his name, or he might not even know. Usually, people find old dirt and it just happens. So they take off running upstairs to get the pieces. So pieces were slid to him. And in this situation like this, let me pause it real quick. See, in a situation like this, the third guy, whoever was in that cell that slid him the pieces, he's going to be charged with this too, especially because it's a prison in-house murder. Everybody that's involved is going to be charged. They're going to do their proper investigation. The ISU, the Goon Squad, the fucking Kukui, the IGI, whatever you want to call them. They're an internal gang investigation unit. They're going to do, they're going to watch everything with a fine-tooth comb. They're going to go through it. They're going to do their homework. And everyone that was involved, all the way from the guy who slid the piece to the guys that utilized the pieces, they're all going to be charged. They're going to look at the officers that were working the tower that day to see if they didn't use proper protocol or if something was fucked up. So anyways, let's get back to it. So these guys say they run down the stairs. You can see one of them's kind of hesitant. He's looking around. Just that little bit of hesitation can be the difference, So now it's kind of off camera, but they're getting busy on the guy. So basically, they're probably stabbing him in the upper torso, going for kill shots, from the neck. There's certain kill points, and you learn that in prison, what you're going to do and how you're going to hit someone. And you can see, if you look close, they're already firing Big Bertha. They're firing rounds. They're firing rounds on them. They're not using the Mini 14. Usually in AdSeg, which is crazy, most places you go, it's going to say no warning shots. And they're quick to pull the Mini 14 out, especially if they see you stabbing someone in weaponry. I'm surprised that they didn't use lethal rounds to end this very quick. Usually someone gets hit with the Mini 14, it's going to tear a leg off, or it's a kill shot automatically. And you can see one of the guys stays on him and the other guy kind of backs up. Now, again, whether he was instructed to just go in, do the fucking hit, back up, or he got hit with the lethal round. And you can see in this video, it looks like he gets hit and he prones out. Whereas the other guy, you can't really see him. He's off camera. And of course, the victim is off camera. And it's unfortunate, man. I've seen situations like with the Troy Kell case where he was held down, by one guy, and another guy got busy. Troy Kill got busy. And of course, man, that was probably one of the most gruesome prison hits you'll ever see on YouTube or period. And I've seen things happen. I've seen things happen in prison, and it's crazy, and again, everything's filmed. They have archives. They have so many things that have went on in the past. It's just a trip to think about it. So in this situation, if we dissect it, we run it back one more time, and I'm gonna have it playing in the background. And again, so you guys could watch every bit of it. When they ran up the stairs to get those pieces, there's a lot of nerves. There's a lot of adrenaline pumping. It's go time. It's do or die. There's no turning back now. Once they used those cuff keys to uncuff themselves and they took off running, imagine what was going through the mind of the victim. Imagine what he was thinking, as he was seeing his two camaradas, his two homeboys, because I'm sure he was under the assumption that they were his homeboys, take off running. What the fuck's going on? Why isn't he involved in the reindeer games? Why is he out of the loop? It's at that exact moment he knew he fucked up. It was at that exact moment he knew he was the one that was going to get hit. If you're not involved and you're out of if you're not involved in the junta, we used to say, why, if you're not invited to the junta, you're nervous. You're like, oh shit, they must be talking about me because I'm not able to fucking be embraced like that. You're no longer embraced within the household. You're no longer in the know. And the last thing you want to be in prison is out of the know, especially within your own group. You should be on the same page and know everything else that everyone else knows. When you don't, it's because they're speaking on you. Now, these guys, people like to call them hitters or shooters or crash dummies. But that's prison, especially on a 4-yard or a 3-yard or a prison such as New Folsom. Everybody's about it. And if they're not, they're going to learn to be about it. Because that's fucking what prison is. And as you see these guys, running down the stairs and just getting straight to the point, the cops in the tower are probably wondering, it only takes them, they know, they're trained for this. So it only took them a minute to identify what was going on. And I'm sure once they seen him run upstairs, grab the pieces and come running down the stairs, they probably immediately started firing Big Bertha. Again, I don't know why lethal rounds weren't shot. Usually it's no warning shots. And they could have prevented this by hitting these dudes right on the stairs. But then again, the cops would be investigated because they hadn't yet done anything, and lawsuits can get filed. There's a lot of people that ask, why do the cops hesitate? They see some guys victimizing another person. This guy's chained up. He can't defend himself. And the truth of the matter is, some of these cops don't care. Some of them could care less. Some of them will turn a blind eye. They don't want to do paperwork. And then some of them, they just like seeing drama just like anyone else. And then there are a lot of the officers that they go in shock. It's not every day you see a person being stabbed in front of you to death. It's not every day something like this cracks off. I know a lot of people like to believe this happens daily in a prison. And it does happen around the United States in a different prison every day. There's someone probably getting hit as we're making this video. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of these young cops, and you don't know if the guy in the tower was a rookie, not as seasoned, or some of the guys, they've seen it, they've done it, they've heard it all. It ain't nothing new to them. They got procedures and protocols, and they're just going to go by what they know and how they're trained to do it. One of these guys that was making hand gestures, basically, to me, this is the way I first deciphered it when I seen the video. And you see it playing in the background. I seen on loop. I seen this guy making hand gestures. Was he telling the tower, hey, he's stabbing him? Or was he telling his homeboy, keep hitting him, hitting him there? Basically directing traffic. In this case, I don't know exactly what's going on. It could be misconstrued as he was telling the tower, hey, that guy's stabbing him, get him. But obviously he gets shot by the rubber bullet or the wood bullets. And I've been hit by rubber bullets, man. I've told a story. There was a guy that disrespected me in the hole on, we were going to group yard, and I waited on group yard. I went to several group yards waiting for him. He never came out of his cell. And I guess he thought because time had passed, I had forgot about it. But I didn't. So when they brought him through the cage, there was a sally port cage, like a cage that they would uncuff you in, and then they'd open the main gate and you'd come out to the yard. And we were out there, and I was out there with one of the homies, and I was like, hey, he had been on pacing back and forth. No, you're not trying to alert the tower to my aggression, but I'm going to get off. And it wasn't going to be weaponry involved. It was just going to be a fist fight. I was just going to rush him. And I wasn't intimidated by this guy. And that put him in a vulnerable situation because I had the upper hand. He obviously wasn't on point. He wasn't thinking straight. He thought fucking time had passed. I had forgot or something. And the homeboy got at me. He was like, bro, let's do this. Let's handle it. And yes, I know a lot of people say jumping people, that makes you a coward or whatever, but that's prison. You know, in prison, you're going to utilize whatever you can to get the upper hand, whether it be 2, 3, 4, 5-on-1 or weapons, whatever. You know, there's no rules. It's all fair play, man. In prison, you do what you do. On the streets as well. Fight when you're fighting someone, man. If you happen to pick up a board, then you pick up a board. You know, it is what it is. Unless it's in a ring and it's a sport, then I could understand not cheating. But there is no cheating in a fight. So anyways, when this guy came through the Sally Port, I told the homeboy, nah, I got this by myself. I wanted to do it myself. I'm the one that had the issue. And I rushed him. He kind of slipped back and fell against the fence, and I was on him. Now, this could have been construed by the tower, because there was a tower out there. This was in Jamestown Prison. This could have been misconstrued as me stabbing him or trying to stomp him out. Now, if you're stabbing someone, they see weapons in your hands, or you're stomping them out, they will shoot you. They will use lethal rounds. But in this case, this guy kind of just fell, and I was just on him with fists, and I got hit 8 times in the back with the rubber bullets. And I've told that story before, man, and I could feel the impact, but my adrenaline was pumping and I was going, so I was all in. They eventually all came running out. You know, he hit the panic button. They came out, yard down, everyone proned out. They hit me with the OC spray, and that stopped the fight immediately. And that was that, man. I ended up getting lucky because that cop hit me so many times with direct hits, which they're not supposed to. You're supposed to skip the rounds. He came to my cell, apologized because he was a Christian, and told me I could write a 602 or a grievance form if I wanted to. I said, nah, that, you know, it is what it is. Just get away from my cell. I'm cool. I'll deal. You know, I wasn't even going to go out to the hearing. It was what it was. I was going to plead guilty. That's what you do, so that way you don't have to make a statement. And he said he was going to write me up for a mutual combat, and I appreciated that because I wasn't going to get a DA referral. Now, in that case, I did go, you know, to my hearing, and they let me watch the actual footage of it, and me and the cop sat there and laughed about it. And that was what it was. I got a write-up. I lost some good time, and so on and so forth. Anyways, in this situation, it's unfortunate because this victim lost his life and he was chained up. And you don't see things like this every day. I don't know how this person that dropped the initial, you know, videos got his hand on it. You know, it had to come from somewhere inside, but it is what it is. So let me know what you guys think about it. You know, do you think that, you know, this could have been prevented? Maybe the cops didn't use the proper protocol, or, you know, it just is what it is. Again, these guys are being charged. You know, they did kill this guy. This guy died. So that's automatically murder charges. And most guys are doing life anyways. I don't know how much time these guys were doing, but they just tack it on. They'll catch a new charge. They'll run it consecutive. Not in all cases. Sometimes they run it concurrent depending upon, you know, what the investigation proves and the history of violence that they have on their jacket. But anyways, it was just a video I wanted to react to with you. Let me know what you guys think about it. Shit gets tricky, you know, and unless you've really seen it in real life and been involved, man, you'll never understand how dangerous it is in prison. You could talk about it and watch movies, but movies really do no justice to what it really is. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming, and remember at the end,